And welcome to Hannity. And tonight, a lot on deck, including a new scheme to get Donald Trump. Democrats, they would like to now use the 14th Amendment to our Constitution to remove Donald Trump from the ballot. Forget the people deciding. They will decide. We're going to get expert legal analysis. That's straight ahead tonight. Plus, James Comer, Jim Jordan, they will join us with disturbing new developments from Biden's weaponized Department of Justice and their alleged interference in the Hunter Biden probe, where we have the highest levels of your government being used to protect both Hunter and Joe Biden at all costs. And in just moments, ESPN host, our buddy Stephen A. Smith, he will be here with more on why he thinks Joe Biden should not be our next president. Apparently he's supporting Gavin Newsom. Anyway, he's not alone in terms of not liking Joe, far from it. All right, look at this. According to a new Wall Street Journal poll, 73% of you, the American people, you believe Biden is too old to run for re-election. Now, the same poll found that two-thirds of Democrats, they also think Joe Biden is too old for another term. Right on cue, today the president got confused and dazed and, well, he walked out during a Medal of Honor ceremony before the event was even over. Please, somebody help this guy. Take a look.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for the benediction.
Can someone show me where the ice cream machine is? Anyway, by the way, in a half-hearted attempt at virtue signaling, well, Biden is wearing a face mask once again, but apparently takes it off in crowded rooms. Looks like he's trying to follow the science, his version of it anyway, again. Or maybe the instructions on the note card weren't very clear or written in big enough font. White House staffers, they're always telling Joe where to stand, what to do, who to talk to, what questions to ask, who to call on, what to say, and probably what to wear in the morning. So today, our very own Peter Doocy asked a very obvious question. Why does the White House treat Joe Biden like the big baby he is? Look at this.
Commander-in-Chief.
Oldest president in U.S. history. It says,
that's ridiculous.
When staff walked back what sounded like a call for regime change and rush to the president, quote, rather than owning his failure, he fumed to friends about how he was treated like a toddler. Was John Kennedy ever babied like that?
So look, I'll say this. There's going to be a range, always a range of books.
Kennedy ever babied like that?
So look, I'll say this. There's going to be a range, always a range of books that are about every administration, as you know, that's going to have a variety of claims. That is not unusual. That happens all the time. And we're not going to litigate those here. That's something that we're not going to speak to.
The simple truth, the complete reality is this. Your president, Joe Biden, is incapable of doing even the most simple, the most basic tasks. So his staffers are now forced to spoon-feed him everything. Biden's mental and physical struggles are also probably why he spends so much time on vacation. You know, so far, 40% of his days are spent away from the White House, a whopping 384 days so far, and he hasn't even finished 3 years. He is now on track to take more time off than any other president in the history of this country, much of it at the beach, as you can see in his beach chair, which he struggles to pull around. And according to Joe, he's actually not on vacation. That's what he said. He's now apparently homeless. At least you can't make this stuff up. Take a look.
By the way, the reason I'm here today, just for one day, I know I'm on vacation. I'm not. I have no home to go to. The Secret Service has torn my house up in a good way to make it secure. So I have no place to go when I come to Delaware except here right now.
Now, the Associated Press, which usually fawns over Joe Biden, put it this way, quote, I have no home to go to, said Biden, who lives at the White House and on weekdays and spends most of his weekends in Delaware. where he has not one but two homes. Now, despite all of his days at the beach, Joe still has not found the time to visit the environmental disaster known as East Palestine in Ohio, as promised all the way back in March. Biden actually told reporters that he just hasn't been able to get a break long enough to make the 30-minute flight from D.C. to Ohio. Take a look.
Well, I haven't had the occasion to go to East Palestine. There's a lot going on here, and I just haven't been able to break. I was thinking whether I'd go to East Palestine this week, but I then was reminded I've got to go literally around the world. I'm going from Washington to India to Vietnam and so it's going to be a while.
Maybe a few less days on the beach and you'd be able to find the time. Here's another more plausible explanation. Biden just doesn't simply care about the people of East Palestine and Ohio. He'd rather be living it up with Hunter at a mansion on Lake Tahoe or in a beach in Delaware day after day. Joe only visited Maui after getting shamed into finally acknowledging his innocent 4-year-old granddaughter. And in both Maui and Florida, Biden obsessively talked about what else? Himself, comparing the death, the destruction to a tiny, small kitchen fire in his mansion that was put out in less than 20 minutes back in 2004. It contained, by the way, the fire was contained to just the kitchen. Not exactly the devastation Florida and Hawaii have faced. Biden boasting that he almost lost his Corvette and his cat. It was horrible. And between the lies, by the way, the lack of empathy, the sheer utter incompetence, Biden is hemorrhaging support, even among his base. Look at this. In 2020, Biden won 70% of non-white voters in that election. But according to a New York Times Siena poll, only 53% of non-white voters now support Biden in a hypothetical matchup against Donald Trump. Joe Biden will not be elected with those numbers, period, end of sentence. Now, one well-connected biographer with ties to the White House is openly admitting that it won't be a shock if Biden does drop out of the race. But it's not just his age and his terrible leadership. Tonight, Biden is also dealing with very serious corruption claims, what we call the Biden bribery, money laundering allegation scandal that is simmering. Former senior Trump advisor, he'll join us in a minute, Stephen Miller, he's now suing the National Archives. Why? He has to force them to release Biden's government emails related to his son's business. We're told that the last batch released by the archives, they were fully redacted. In other words, they were useless. More obfuscation, more delays, more lack of cooperation, but they're the most transparent administration in history. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.